Ever feel like your mind just won't stop? Like life is too loud and peace is far away? These 10 short Buddhist stories are here for you, not to preach, but to gently guide you back to yourself. Stay till the end. One of them might just be what your heart needs right now. 1. To be free is to be alive. A disciple approached his master and asked, "Master, what do people need to be happy?" The master asked, "What do you think?" Disciple thought for a moment and said, "I feel that if one's basic needs are being met, like having food and drink, a place to live, a good job, and security, then he will be happy." Hearing this, the master did not say anything and asked the disciple to go on a walk with him. The master and disciple walked for a while and then stopped near a door. The master said, "Open this door." Disciple opened the door and saw that there was a chicken coop in front of him. There were a number of chickens, all imprisoned in big cages. Then the master asked his disciple, "Do you see this chicken coop?" "Yes," said disciple. Then the master asked it, "Do chickens get food?" "Yes," said disciple. "Do they have a house to live in?" The master again asked him. "Yes, kind of," said the disciple. "Are they safe from cats or dogs?" The master asked. "Yeah, they are," said the disciple. "Do they have eggs?" the master again asked. "Yes, they lay eggs," the disciple replied. "Do you think they are happy?" Master again asked. Listening to this, disciples started looking at those chickens closely. He didn't know how to tell if they were happy or not. While the disciple was thinking, the master said, "Come with me." Both again started walking, and after some time stopped near a big field. There were lots of chickens in the field. They were neither imprisoned in any cage, nor was there anyone to feed them. They were themselves, searching for food and playing with each other. Master asked, "Do these chickens look happy?" Disciple found this question a bit strange, and he started thinking, the environment here is a bit different. The chickens here are living in a natural way, eating, drinking, and looking healthier. So in a muffled voice he replied, "Yeah, perhaps." The master said, "Of course, these chickens are happy." Then the master continued, "Chickens in the coop have all the things you thought were necessary to be happy. Their basic needs like food, drink, and shelter, everything is there. But are they happy? No, they are not, whereas chickens roaming in the open have to find their own food, find a place to live, protect themselves. But still they are still happy." Why the disciple couldn't speak. Then in a serious voice, master said, "You see, my child, in our lives, we all have to make a choice. Either we can live like chickens in a cage, a life where we will not exist, or we can live like those chickens in fields, who can live a free life by taking risks and exploring infinite possibilities." You asked me about how to live happily, so here is my answer. You cannot be happy just by breathing or surviving. To be happy, you should have the courage to live life freely. The story of the disciple and the master teaches us profound lessons about true happiness and the choices we make in our lives. Real happiness doesn't just come from having basic needs like food and a safe place to stay. Rather, true happiness is more about being yourself, taking on challenges, and dealing with uncertainties in life. Much like the caged chickens, some people may opt for a more secure and predictable path, while others are those who are like the free range of chickens and choose a life that involves more risks and exploration. The analogy between caged and free-range chickens reflects our own choices in life. The cage represents self-imposed limitations, the fear of the unknown, and a reluctance to step outside the comfort zone. On the other hand, the chickens in the field represent those who come out of their comfort zone, embrace life's uncertainties, take risks, and explore infinite possibilities. In essence, it encourages us to question whether we are merely existing within the confines of our comfort zones or actively living with the courage to face challenges, make choices that reflect our true selves, and follow a path that leads to real happiness. It reminds us that true satisfaction doesn't come from the external trappings of security, but from the internal freedom to live a life of purpose and exploration. 2. Achieve nothing, gain everything. Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by hills, there lived a young boy whose name was Koji. Koji was fascinated by the world around him and constantly sought answers to life's greatest questions. He was full of curiosity and always eager to learn more. One day he heard about a wise master who lived on the top of a hill near the village. It was said that the master had profound knowledge about life and could guide anyone seeking wisdom. Koji felt a strong urge to meet the Zen master, so he decided to climb the hill and seek the master's guidance. One day he set out on his journey and climbed the hill. When he reached the top after a long and tiring trek, Koji found a hut nestled among the clouds. Inside the hut, he saw the Zen master, a gentle old man with a calm presence and a twinkle in his eyes. Bowing respectfully, Koji asked, "Master, how long will it take me to find Zen?" The master smiled warmly and replied, 10 years. Koji was surprised but undaunted. He asked again, "What if I work harder, master?" "Then how long will it take me to find Zen?" The master paused for a moment, as if weighing the question. Then he answered, 20 years. Confused, Koji persisted and again asked, "Master, what if I devote myself entirely to the practice? How long would it take?" Then the master gazed at Koji thoughtfully and said, 30 years. This answer left Koji disheartened. His spirit sank, and he asked with confusion, "Master, I don't understand. The more I promise to work hard, the longer it seems to take. Why?" The master looked at Koji with a serene smile and said, "When you have one eye fixed on the goal, you have only one eye on the path." Koji did not fully understand the master's words, so the master explained further. Think of climbing a tree to reach a ripe fruit. At the top, if you keep looking at the fruit and thinking about how good it will taste, you might lose your grip and fall. But if you focus on each step, where to place your hands and feet, how the bark feels, and the fresh air around you, you will enjoy the climb and reach the top safely. In life, it is just like climbing that tree. If you focus too much on the reward at the end, you might miss out on the journey itself. So whether you are learning something new, practicing a skill, or working toward a goal, remember to focus on the effort you put in. Along the way, enjoy the process. Learn from it and celebrate every step forward you take. Because sometimes, the true reward lies in the effort itself. Koji listened carefully and thought about what the master said. He realized that he had been so focused on reaching his goal that he was not paying attention to the journey itself. From that day on, Koji decided to stop rushing and enjoy every step of his learning. He began focusing on the effort he put in every day, instead of worrying about how long it will take to find Zen. And over time, Koji discovered something special. He found a peace and tranquility he had not even realized when he was seeking. You see, in life, we all have some goals in our life, but sometimes we get so focused on reaching them that we forget to enjoy the journey. When we get too obsessed over the destination, We start to put in so much effort to reach the goal that the path starts to feel like a burden. This can lead to frustration, boredom, and even giving up before we get there. But when we start to enjoy each step, the journey becomes more important than the goal itself. In that case, the success naturally follows. If you focus on the small moments, the daily efforts, the challenges you overcome, and the lessons you learn every day, you will find joy in the process. When the journey is meaningful, the destination no longer feels far away. That's why once Buddha said, "It is better to travel well than to arrive." This means that we should live each day fully and make the most of every experience, rather than just rushing to the end. Most of the people spend their whole life chasing after goals, but in doing so, they miss out on precious moments that will never return. We must remember that the real reward is not just in achieving your dreams, but it is in the journey, the growth, and the memories you create along the way. So enjoy every moment of your journey, because that is what makes life truly worthwhile. 3. You will never be angry again. Once there was a great Zen master whose name was Rinzai. He used to meet people at his place. One day a man came to see him. Man was not in a good mood. And because of this, when he entered the room, he pushed and slammed the door very hard. Then he removed his shoes and threw them away. And as soon as he lifted his foot to enter, just then Rinzai said, "Wait, don't enter." The man asked why. Rinzai replied, "First, go and ask for forgiveness from door and from your shoes." Man said, "What are you talking about? I heard that these and people are mad, but I did not believe, but now it seems true. What nonsense are you talking about? Why should I ask for forgiveness from door and shoes? It looks so embarrassing." Rinzai replied, "You get out right now and never come again. If you can be angry at shoes, then why can't you ask for forgiveness? When you were angry, you never thought it was so foolish to be angry with shoes. If you can relate with anger, then why not with love? When you slam door with such anger, you related to door, you behave wrongly, immorally. That door has not done anything wrong to you. If you can slam the door with anger, then why can't you ask for forgiveness from door? Relationship is relationship. Anger is also a relationship. If you can't apologize, then you don't come in. Coming into contact with Rinzai's calm nature, the man also became calm, and he understood the logic of it. He understood that if you can be angry, then why can't you be loving? Man went and touched the door. Tears started to flow from his eyes. He could not hold back his tears. Then he bowed down to his own shoes, and a great change happened in him. That moment he turned and came toward Rinzai. Rinzai took him in his arms and embraced him. If we see in our lives, we will find that we may not be able to ignore what is happening, but what is important is how we respond to the situation. We always have a choice in how we respond. We can either react out of anger, or we can overcome and replace the anger with love. There is plenty of anger and violence in the world. In every town, every village, in every home, one can find abundance of anger. To respond to this anger with more anger will only fuel the flames. We do not put out fire by fanning the flames. We have to smother the fire. Similarly, we do not put out fire of anger by adding more fire to them. We smother the fire of anger with love and forgiveness. It takes a lot of energy to respond in anger, and the response tends to deplete us and drain us. But if we use our energy to respond lovingly, we will not only bring harmony to the situation, but we will be energized by that love. When we act lovingly, we open the door for Almighty's love to flow through us. we are energized and boosted by this divine love. Therefore, the next time you find yourself in a situation in which anger is taking place, try to respond with love instead of anger. And you will find that responding with love will have great effect, both on the situation and on your own well-being. Let us bring harmony and peace to the world. Let us overcome violence with love. And doing so, we will find that it will not be long before our environment, our community, and our society will become a heaven of peace in this world. For the thief who stopped running. Once upon a time, in the remote village, nestled amidst the soaring mountains of the Himalayas, a group of enlightened Buddhist monks lived a life of peace and serenity, providing spiritual guidance to the villagers. One day, a notorious thief made his way to the village, wreaking havoc by stealing from the homes of the villagers. The people were furious, and the authorities were called upon to bring the thief to justice. But the monks had a different idea. They believed in the transformative power of compassion and wanted to give the thief a chance to change his ways. They offered him a proposition. He could live with them and learn their ways in exchange for his freedom. The thief agreed, initially apprehensive and skeptical. He gradually began to experience a change in his outlook. The monks told him the true meaning of life, the importance of compassion, and the power of forgiveness. He was no longer the same person he was before. As days went by, the thief's transformation became more evident, and the monk's teachings became a beacon of hope for the villagers. But then fate dealt a blow. A traveler arrived in the village, accusing the reformed thief of having stolen from him. The villagers, who had begun to see him in a new light, were now convinced that the thief had returned to his old ways. But the monks, who had witnessed the thief's transformation, were unwilling to give up on him. They stood by him, ready to defend him with their lives. Their actions gave rise to a tumultuous chain of events that would change the course of the village's history. Forever, the clash between the villagers and the monks became the talk of the town, as outsiders descended upon the village to witness the unfolding drama. The once quiet village now reverberated with the sound of angry voices as everyone took sides. But amidst the chaos, a miracle occurred. The traveler who had come to accuse the thief suddenly had a change of heart. Moved by the thief's transformation, by the willingness of the monks to defend him, he forgave him and decided to drop the charges. They too acknowledged the thief's transformation. They realized that the monks had been right all along, and that compassion could indeed conquer all. The story of the thief's transformation and the monks' unwavering faith in him became the talk of the town, and news of their story soon spread far and wide. The story of their courage and conviction was celebrated as an example of the true power of compassion and forgiveness. And the thief, who had once been a symbol of fear and terror, now became a beacon of hope, an example of what could be achieved when one was willing to change. You see, in life, in your life, you can always change. You can always become what you were meant to be, what you want to be. Now you are the thief. But tomorrow, you will be a beacon of light, a beacon of hope for your community. Compassion indeed has the power to conquer all. This is there to do motivation stories. 5. Peace is found in emptiness. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled among the rolling hills, there lived a young man named Hero. Hero was known throughout the village for his restless mind. He was always thinking, analyzing and worrying about the past and the future. His mind was cluttered with thoughts, and he could never find peace. One day, Hiro heard about a renowned Zen master who lived on top of a distant mountain. The master was said to possess the secret to finding inner peace and tranquility. Intrigued, Hiro decided to embark on a journey to seek the wisdom of the Zen master. After days of arduous travel, Hiro finally reached the top of the mountain. There he found the Zen master sitting quietly, his eyes closed in deep meditation. Hiro approached the master and bowed respectfully. "Master," Hiro said, "I have come seeking your guidance. My mind is restless and I yearn for inner peace. Can you teach me how to empty my mind?" The Zen master opened his eyes and looked at Hiro with a serene smile. "Empty your mind, you say? Very well, I will teach you," he replied. The master led Hiro to a small courtyard, adorned with a beautiful garden. In the center of the courtyard, there was a large stone basin, filled to the brim with water. Hiro watched as the master picked up a ladle and dipped it into the basin. Scooping up a ladle full of water, he then poured the water into a smaller, empty bowl. "Hiro," the master said, "your task is to empty the basin. You must transfer all the water from the basin to the smaller bowl without spilling a single drop." Hiro looked at the task before him and felt puzzled. How could he possibly empty the entire basin of water into such a small bowl? Nonetheless, he accepted the challenge and began scooping water from the basin. For hours, Hiro diligently scooped and poured. But no matter how hard he tried, the basin remained filled with water. Frustration crept into his heart, and his mind became even more restless. The Zen master observed Hiro's struggle with a compassionate gaze. He walked over and gently placed his hand on Hiro's shoulder. "Hiro, my dear student," the master said softly, "you are trying so hard to empty the basin, but you have forgotten the first and most crucial step. To empty the basin, you must first empty your mind." Hiro looked at the master, his eyes filled with confusion. "Master, how do I empty my mind?" The master smiled warmly. "Let go of your worries, your fears, and your attachments," he said. "Focus only on the task at hand. Be fully present in this moment, and the rest will follow." Hiro took a deep breath and let go of his frustration. He stopped trying so hard to empty the basin and instead focused on each scoop of water, savoring the sound and the sensation of it. Gradually, he entered a state of flow, his mind becoming clear and his movements effortless. As Hiro emptied his mind, something miraculous happened. The basin seemed to respond to his newfound tranquility. With each scoop, the water flowed effortlessly into the smaller bowl, and the basin gradually emptied. Finally, Hiro poured the last drop of water into the small bowl. He looked at the Zen master with amazement and gratitude. "You see, Hiro," the master said, "when you empty your mind, you allow the universe to flow through you. You become one with the task at hand, and everything falls into place." Hiro realized that true peace and clarity resided within him all along. From that day forward, he carried the wisdom of the Zen master in his heart, reminding 6. A fool's word, a master's silence. Once a monk was delivering a discourse to a gathering of people. Everyone sat silently, listening intently, as the monk spoke about the power of words. He explained how words hold ability to shape our thoughts, influence emotions, and impact lives. Suddenly, a man from the audience stood up and interrupted, saying, "This is nonsense. What is there in words? Words don't matter. They are just sounds that disappear into the air." The monk, with patience, tried to explain the importance of words, using reasons and examples. But the man was adamant. He kept dismissing the monk's arguments with illogical rebuttals, refusing to acknowledge the point. As the discussion dragged on, the monk suddenly said in a firm voice, "You are a fool, you have no understanding. Only fools and worthless people like you dismiss such truths." Hearing this harsh statement in front of the entire gathering, the man was stunned, his face flushed with anger, and he retorted, "How can you call me a fool? Such words are unworthy of a saint like you. Your words have deeply hurt me." The monk, instead of replying seriously, burst into laughter. Everyone in the audience was taken aback by this unexpected reaction. Then, amidst his laughter, the monk said to the man, "Why are you so upset?" But I said, "What just words? What is there in words? They are just sounds that disappear into the air. Are not they? I did not throw a stone at you. So why are you angry hearing this?" The man passed, realizing the irony of his own argument. His anger subsided, and he bowed his head in shame. "I understand now," he said apologetically. "Please forgive me." Smiling kindly, the monk replied, "You see, my friend, if harsh words can ignite anger, then why can't kind words bring blessings? Why can't sweet words awaken love and peace in a person's heart?" The man nodded, and so did the audience. In that moment, everyone present understood the true power of words and how they can influence not just our emotions, but our very lives. If we see in our lives, we will find that words may seem like simple sounds that disappear quickly, but their impact is deep and long-lasting. They have the power to shape our thoughts, affect our emotions, and guide our actions. For example, when we hear the word rose, we picture something beautiful, fragrant, and pleasant. But when we hear the word snake, it brings fear and caution to our minds. This is the power of words. They create images in our minds and stir feelings in our hearts. The words we speak to ourselves play a big role in shaping who we become. If we tell ourselves, "I am a good person," we naturally try to live up to it. But if we say, "I am a bad person," it can lead us down a negative path. Words influence our mindset and character, feeling of our hearts either with love and peace or with anger and negativity. Words also affect how we interact with others. Polite and kind words can reap your relationships, build trust, and create harmony, while harsh or careless words can hurt, break bonds, and cause conflict. The way we use words determines not only our personal success, but also the quality of our relationships. Using words is an art that requires wisdom and mindfulness. Thoughtful and kind words can uplift someone's spirit, brighten their day, and bring blessings, while harsh words can hurt deeply and leave scars. Therefore, we must always choose our words with care, speaking only what is kind, encouraging, and positive. By doing so, we enrich our own lives and create a world filled with love, peace, and understanding. The true power of words lies not just in their sound, but in their ability to transform hearts, lives, and the world around us. 7. The secret to success. Once upon a time, there was a young man who worked at a factory. His mentor, an old technician, taught him to talk less, do more, and never stop developing his skills in every aspect of the factory's operations. 10 years later, the old man retired, and the young man became a technician himself. He continued to do his work with the same dedication and diligence as he was taught. One day he visited his mentor. The old man saw that he seemed unhappy and asked what was troubling him. The young man sighed and poured his heart out. "I have been following your instructions, Exactly all these years, no matter what I work on, I keep quiet and focus on the job. I know I have done good work at the factory, and I have learned all the skills that can be learned there. What I don't understand is that the guys who don't have my experience or capabilities have all been promoted, while I am still making as little as I did before. When I was your apprentice, the old man asked, "Are you positive that you have become indispensable to the factory?" The young man nodded yes. The old man paced back and forth to think. After a while, he turned to the young man. "You must request a day off, using whatever reason you like. It is time for you to give yourself a break." The young man was surprised by this advice, but the more he thought about it, the more it made sense. He thanked his teacher and left quickly to make a time-off request. When he returned to work after his day off, the manager called him into the office to tell him that things did not go well at the factory. While he was gone, others encountered many problems that normally would be handled by him, and they had no idea how to solve them. Realizing his importance, the manager decided to promote him to the position of senior technician, to thank him and encourage him to keep up the good work. The young man was grateful for his mentor's wisdom. Surely he thought this was the secret to success. From that point on, whenever the young man felt like he deserved more than what he was getting, he would take a day off. When he came back the next day, the situation would improve to his satisfaction. This pattern continued for months. One day the young man found that he was blocked from going into the factory. Much to his shock, he found out that his employment was terminated. He could not believe it. Not knowing what else to do, he went back to see his mentor to try to figure out how things had gone so wrong. "Why did I lose my job?" he asked with wounded pride. "Did I not do everything as you instructed?" "Actually, you did not, because you heard only half the lesson." The old man shook his head. "You understood right away that no one pays any attention to a light bulb that is always on. It is only when it goes off that people suddenly take notice and realize they've been taking it for granted. You were so eager to apply this understanding that you left before hearing the second half. It began to dawn on the young man that perhaps he made a big mistake. What was the second half? The mentor spoke slowly to make his point. The second half, more important than the first, is the realization that if a light bulb goes off frequently, then sooner or later, it will be replaced with one that is more reliable. Who wants a light bulb that no one can count on to provide illumination? You see, in your life, do you have friends and family members that you take for granted? They're always there for you. What happens if one day they are no longer there? Do not wait for such a day to suddenly realize how important they are. Give thanks today for the good fortune of having them in your life. Also, don't let yourself being taken for granted, but at the same time, do your work. And don't stop everything you do just because it doesn't go the way you want it to go. Find the balance in life, and life will reward you with giving you the balance back. 8. The laugh that liberates. Once upon a time in ancient China, there lived 3 old monks. Their names are not remembered today, simply because they never revealed them to anybody. In China, they are simply known as the 3 laughing monks. They always traveled together and did nothing else but laugh. They entered a village or a town, stood in the center of its main square, and started laughing. Slowly but surely, the people who lived and worked there and the passers-by couldn't resist, and had to start laughing as well, until a small laughing crowd had formed. And eventually, the laughing had spread to the whole village or town. That was the moment when the 3 old monks moved on to the next village. Their laughter was their only prayer. All of their teaching, because they never spoke to anybody. They just created that situation. All over China, they were loved and respected. The people had never known such spiritual teachers. Before or after, they seemed to communicate that life should be taken only as a great opportunity to laugh, as if they had discovered some kind of cosmic joke. So they traveled and laughed for many years, spreading joy and happiness throughout China. Until one day, while being at a particular village in the North Province, one of them died. The people were shocked and came running from afar, leaving the fields unattended for the day, only to witness the other 2 monks' reaction to this dramatic event. They were expecting them to show sorrow or even cry, and the whole village came to the place where the 3 monks were, 2 alive and 1 dead. But the 2 remaining monks were laughing only harder. They were laughing and could not seem to stop, so that a few of the good people who were assisting to this scene in disbelief approached them and asked them why they weren't mourning at all for their deceased friend. And for one time, the monks actually responded, "Because yesterday on our way to your village, he proposed a bet on who of us would beat the other 2 and die first. And now he won the old rogue. He even had a testament prepared, the tradition required to wash the dead and change his clothes before putting him on the funeral pyre. But the old monk had explicitly asked to leave the old clothes on him, since he had never been filthy for 1 day. I never allowed any of the filth of this world to reach me through my laughter," his testament stated. So the old man's body was placed on the pyre, with the garments he was wearing when he had arrived, and as the fire was lit, it started licking on his clothes. To everyone's astonishment, suddenly fireworks of 100 colors went exploding, up and down and to all directions. And finally, the people who had gathered there also joined the laughter of the 2 wise men. You see, in your life, maybe the only reason that we are here on this earth is so we can laugh and never stop experiencing joy and laughter. So next time you face a problem, look in the mirror and just laugh the problem away, because your joy is what makes you alive. This is there to do motivation stories. Thanks for watching and stay blessed. 9. Silence, the truest teacher. In a world full of noise, opinions, and endless chatter, there lies a hidden power in something so simple, so quiet, silent. Today, I'll tell you a story from a small village, a tale of wisdom, pain, patience, and the deep strength found in silence. In a quiet village, nestled between green hills and flowing rivers, lived an old man named Baba Karim. People respected him, not because he was wealthy or powerful, but because he spoke very little. He watched, he listened, and when he did speak Sarsun, every word carried weight. Every evening, Baba Karim would sit under the old banyan tree near the village well. People came to him with their worries, their sorrows, their confusions, but instead of giving advice, he would mostly stay silent, just listening, and somehow, through his silence, people found their own answers. One day, a young man named Salim arrived in the village. He was full of frustration, anger, and pain. Life in the city had broken him. He lost his father to illness, his job to layoffs, and his peace to endless noise. So he came to live with his uncle in this quiet village, hoping perhaps for a little rest. But the silence of the village only made him more restless. He couldn't understand how people live so slowly, so calmly with so little. No arguments, no rushing, no loud opinions. It made him uncomfortable. One evening, Salim saw Baba Karim under the banyan tree. Out of curiosity, or maybe desperation, he sat beside him. He waited for the old man to say something wise, but Baba Karim just smiled and said nothing. Salim frowned. "You don't speak much, do you, Baba? How will silence solve anything?" Baba Karim simply replied, "Sometimes it is not answers that we need, but the space to hear our own heart." And then silence again. That night, Salim couldn't sleep. Those few words echoed in his mind. The next few days, Salim began to live the village life. He rose with the sun, worked in the fields, ate simple meals, and watched the villagers live in their calm rhythm. No one told him what to do. No one argued with him. There were no lectures. Only quiet and presence. Slowly in that silence, something began to shift inside him. He noticed things he had never seen before. The patience in a farmer's hands, the devotion in the old woman's early morning prayers, the silent love of a mother as she fed her child. He began to help others, not for praise, but because it felt right. And one evening, he found himself smiling. A real, peaceful smile, the kind he hadn't felt in years. But life always tests us when we begin to grow. One morning, as Salim walked through the village market, he overheard two men gossiping. "He thinks he's better than us." One said, "We're all city boys showing off." So when Gucci Louis said that, the other, Salim's, the old anger in his chest returned. His fist clenched. He wanted to shout, to defend himself, to prove them wrong. But then he remembered Baba Karim. The silence, the space. He walked away that evening. He sat again under the banyan tree. He didn't say anything, just sat. After a long pause, Baba Karim said softly, "You have changed, Salim. Not because you learned to speak better, but because you learned when not to speak at all." In that moment, Salim finally understood. In a world where everyone wants to be heard, where volume is confused with value, and shouting is mistaken for strength, silence is a revolution. Silence is not weakness. It is space, it is awareness, it is control, it is choosing peace over pride. Today, Salim is no longer the angry young man he once was. He is calm, thoughtful, and strong. In his silence, he listens more than he speaks. He observes before he reacts. And people now come to him for guidance, not because he speaks loudly, but because he listens deeply. Baba Karim, now old and weak, handed Salim his prayer beads one day and said, "Words can hurt, words can heal, but silence teaches." So the next time the world gets too noisy, when your anger rises or confusion clouds your heart, don't rush to respond. Sit, breathe, wait. Let silence do its work. You just might find that the loudest answers are the ones spoken in silence. Salim, I cannot thank you enough for your help at the harvest. Your presence, it is calming. I've come to realize, sometimes presence is all we truly need. Indeed, Baba Karim would be proud. 10. Time gave him the hardest lesson. In the quiet village of Bairampur, surrounded by green fields and dusty roads, lived a 17-year-old boy named Ravi. He was known for his kind heart and cheerful smile, but everyone also knew one more thing about him. He was always late. Ravik's father, Mohanlal, was a hard-working farmer. Every day at sunrise, he would head to the fields while Ravi stayed in bed, telling himself, "I'll go tomorrow." "Beta, wake up." His mother would call, "Your father needs help." "I'll go after breakfast," Ravi would say. Then after breakfast, he'd say, "Let me just rest a little. There's still time." Days turned into weeks. The planting season was coming soon, the most important time of the year for a farmer. Mohanlal tried many times to get Ravi involved. "Son," he said one evening, as they sat outside under the neem tree, "farming is not about working hard once. It's about working every single day on time. The land won't wait for you." Ravi just smiled. "I know, Baba. I'll start helping this season. Promise." But when the season arrived, Ravi overslept on the first day of sowing. By the time he reached the field, it was late morning. His father had already planted half the land, with the help of some neighbors. "Baba, I can help now," Ravi said. His father looked at him. The best time was early morning. The soil was soft, and the water level was just right. "You missed it." Still, Ravi worked for a while, but left early saying he was tired. The next day, he didn't come at all. Weeks passed, the monsoon rains came late, and because Ravi had delayed planting some sections of the land, those parts were left bare. Crops grew unevenly, some died before maturing. At the harvest, the yield was lower than usual. Mohanlal didn't say anything, but Ravi noticed how quiet he had become. He wasn't the same smiling father anymore. One evening, Mohanlal sat coughing by the fire. Ravi brought him tea. "Baba," Ravi said quietly, "I am sorry. I know I didn't help much this season." Mohanlal looked into the fire. "Ravi, in farming and in life, there is a time for everything. You can't plant a seed whenever you want and expect it to grow. You must respect the season, the rain, the sun. If you miss the right time, the loss cannot be undone." Ravi felt a knot in his stomach. For the first time, he understood the weight of time, not as something that ticked on a clock, but something that determined the fate of a harvest, of a family. That night, he couldn't sleep. He thought of all the days he had wasted, all the times he said tomorrow. From the next day, Ravi changed. He woke up before the sun, helped his father clear the fields for the next crop cycle, fetched water, repaired tools, and cleaned the cowshed. Villagers began to notice old men sitting at the tea stall nodded approvingly. His friends were surprised but proud. One day, the village school teacher, Mr. Verma, called him. "Ravi, I see you've changed," he said. "Would you be interested in taking a course on organic farming that's being offered by the government?" Ravi hesitated. "But I've never studied beyond basic school." Mr. Verma smiled. "The training is practical, and they want village youth like you. It's your chance to learn modern methods." With his father's support, Ravi attended the course in the nearby town. He learned about crop rotation, natural fertilizers, water conservation, and most importantly, planning according to time and season. When he returned after 2 months, he brought ideas with him. He convinced his father to try new methods. In a small part of the land, they built a rainwater pit, used compost instead of chemical fertilizers, and sold early just on time. That season, their yield was better than the last in both quantity and quality. Buyers offered a higher price for their organic produce. One day, the district collector visited the village for an inspection. Seeing Ravik's work, she praised him in front of the villagers. "Young people like Ravi are the future of our villages." She said he respected time, learned something new, and helped his family and his land. "This is the kind of progress we need." Ravi felt proud but not arrogant. He bowed his head and said, "Mawam, I learned this lesson the hard way. Time once lost never returns. I only wish I had understood it earlier." Years passed, and Ravi became one of the most respected young farmers in the district. He trained other farmers, helped them with planning, and even started a small group to teach children about time management and farming. Whenever someone asked him what changed his life, he would say, "One missed season. That's all it took for me to realize the value of time." And so the lazy boy who once wasted hours became the young man who helped save the minutes, days and seasons, not just for himself, but for his whole community. Moral of the story: in villages and in lifetime is like a season. If you miss it, the loss is not just of a day, it is of growth, opportunity, and future value. Your time, and time will reward you. As Ravi walked through the bustling village, he noticed the changes around him. "It's amazing what we can do when we respect the seasons," he said to his friend Raj. Raj nodded, "And all because you decided to take charge." Mr. Verma approached them. Ravi, we are thinking of setting up an annual farming festival, he said. Would you like to lead it? Ravi's eyes lit up with excitement. Absolutely. Let's showcase our methods and inspire everyone. The first Bayrampur Farming Festival was a success. Stalls showcased organic produce, workshops on sustainable practices thrived, and villagers shared experiences. Ravi gave the opening speech. This festival is not just about farming, it's about embracing our culture and future. Years later, as an established leader in sustainable agriculture, Ravi looked back at his journey with pride. All it took was one lesson in time. He told young aspiring farmers, never let tomorrow stop you from changing today. If these stories speak to your heart, feel free to subscribe to Buddhist Insights Journey. It's a space for calm reflection, gentle wisdom, and shared inner growth. You're warmly welcome to walk this path with us.